Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's been a few weeks since I did a live stream. It's been pretty crazy. We released the new version of the app on iOS and Android. That was already out, but there's some updates. So now the sci-fi is available for everybody through the subscription. And yeah, everything's going to move a lot faster now that we have the new build of the app. So we basically rebuilt it from scratch because there were some significant issues with the software we were using to develop it previously. So this is going to drastically increase our ability to push updates consistently, create new features that people are asking for, and just in general create a better experience. So if you download the update, if you haven't already, you're going to notice that the app is a lot more, maybe responsive isn't quite the right word, but it feels a lot smoother. There's a lot of built-in kind of models and templates that are much more conducive to developing a mobile app like ours, whereas the previous software we were using was more for games. So it had a physics engine and stuff like that really wasn't necessary, and not a lot of pre-built components that are the main things that make life easier for us as a very small team. So with the sci-fi mostly released, there's 2 more scenes that are done and ready to come out sometime this upcoming week, if not this week. So we're moved on to Seafaring. There currently are 2 free demo scenes for Seafaring in the app. There's Maelstrom and Shipwreck Cove. Maelstrom only has 1 explore track in it just because of the time we've time it takes to write this kind of music. It might not be as apparent today because we're working on a little bit more explore kind of slower music, but when it comes to the combat, it could easily take me 20 hours to finish 2 minutes of music. So I think it's turning out very well, but it takes time. So I'm not going to be doing a lot of the fine-tuning, the little nitty-gritty editing, because I do think that would get boring. It might be interesting for people who do this all day, but I don't think it'd be the most interesting watching me listen to the same clarinet run 10 times in a row, slightly moving the dynamics around and slightly moving the note start and ends of the MIDI. It'd be pretty boring, I think. So what we're going to do today is write a track from scratch and see if we can get it mostly finished. This is for setting sail. So this is one of my favorite scenes for the upcoming Seafaring pack, which basically it's that moment when you leave port, the sails unfurl, the wind comes in and what's the word, billows, the sails billow. And it's just one of those kind of magical moments when it comes to any type of seafaring stuff. We want to try to emulate elements of the sea, the water, the wind, and I can show you a little demo of the first track that we have in this scene. It's not mixed, but it's I like it though. So let me just pull that up and we'll give a quick listen to this. This will be Seafaring Peaceful Sailing _001 not mixed. It's a catchy title. So we're going to listen to this. It's about a minute and a half long. And while we're listening to this, I want you to think about what element of setting sail you want us to focus on today. So what I do here is I take suggestions from the chat, and this could be story ideas or specific descriptive ideas. So for example, you could tell me, I want you to create the specific instance where the sail falls down when you let the rigging go and it comes down and you get that push of air and you start to feel the ship move forward. Or maybe there's a dolphin that comes up on the side and we want this track to be seeing marine life around the ship. So as we listen to this, I want you to put ideas in the chat, and then we're going to try to hit as many of them as you can. So this really is interactive scoring. So think about that, give that some thought, and post whatever in the chat you'd like to, and we will listen to the first track that's in this playlist. Again, not mixed. So that's the first track. I have two more kind of written, mostly written and not finished. So we're going to be working on the fourth track for this explore scene. We'll probably end up with 4 on launch, which would be probably eight-ish minutes of music. And over time, we'll keep revisiting and adding more, doing some editing, and overall just improving the content over time. And that's one thing with Pocket Bar that I'm really looking forward to do, is going back to scenes that have already been released. So stuff in Fantasy Essentials and Sci-Fi that could be improved or have music added. Specifically, there's a bunch in Fantasy Essentials like Plains and Forests that I think need a bit of cleanup and more music. Anyway, getting back to Seafaring and setting sail. Does anybody have, like I mentioned, any suggestions for what we want this specific track to cover, or at least where do we want it to start? For the other ones, it's that one we just listened to. I was thinking about kind of the captain coming aboard and crew getting ready to make sail, so getting to their positions, and then the sails coming down and really getting underway. and getting that first kind of burst of movement, weighing anchor, or whatever the opposite of weighing anchor is, taking up anchor. So yeah, any suggestions, post them in the chat, and I'll give you like 30 seconds, and then or if nobody posts anything, I will just make something up. But I prefer to have people contribute, so it's not a one-man show. Again, some ideas would be dolphins swimming around a ship, seeing another ship come, move past yours. That maybe they're going into port and docking as we're going out. Maybe it's a conversation between the captain and one of the first mate about what their destination is. We could go with really any of that. So anybody who would like to post, feel free. Also, welcome, Super Mega Bacon. Nice to see a first-time chat. Welcome. What does a calm day at sea cruising along sound like? Calm day at sea. So that's a good suggestion. We may not go too far in that direction because we have another scene that is basically the exact description that you just the description you described, where it's called open ocean, probably, unless, subject to change. And it is exactly what you said, a calm day at sea, kind of cruising along, maybe the wind's a little low, a long day at sea. But we can take some elements of that. So maybe some calm. So yeah, exactly. So we'll get to that in, I believe, a week or 2 weeks from now. So if you tune back in on Tuesday or Thursday in a week or two, I'll be working on that your exact description. Stacey Harris, or not Harris, H3, sorry. Setting sail, trumpets, flags unfurled, big send off. Yep, we can go for another one of those. Maybe let's get started with the trumpets. Let's just start with that. Let's take a specific suggestion. Let's get our tempo. So that's pretty quick because this was a template I was using for a combat track. So I think we were more around a tempo of Oh, this is an eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sailor climbing up the rigging to a crow's nest. Yeah, I like that a lot. Let's take Stacy's suggestion of trumpets and Nee Niles, sailor climbing up the rigging to a crow's nest. So let's think about crow's nest. Let's start with that because I think that's something that's easier to kind of conceptualize what it would sound like. So we're thinking about going up. We're on the deck of a ship. So maybe we want to, and there's a little bit of tension, right? You're going up high, and there's potentially you could fall, right? It's always if depending on your level of fear of heights. So what if we have a little bit of let's create the deck first. So let's bring the cellos. So that let's just start in C minor. Why minor? Because it's pirate music and everybody's used to that. But no, it won't be consistently in minor. We're just going to start on a C minor chord. Why? Because, I don't know, it feels right for a deck of a ship. So let's have a tremolo. And again, this isn't going to be dark, so we're not trying to use these tremolo strings for darkness, just a little bit of tension. So let's record that. Create some dynamics as we go. We don't want this to be the primary element, so we're going to have it. And then we're actually going to make that not tremolo. It's just going to be a E flat there. And fade off, and then we'll have something else come in. So there. So let's go in here, and this is where I have key switches which change the articulation. So this first one is tremolo. So you're doing fast bowing, fast bowing. And then we're going to bring a legato note. So you'll hear it, this changes here. So we've got this. And now let's use a harp or how about a celeste? We're going up into the crow's nest, so. That's a little too mysterious. It's not really mysterious, it's just raising up. So sometimes it's easier to start on instruments like the piano or something like that because we don't need to worry about the performance as much. We're just trying to get the notes down. Okay, I think instead of a C minor, let's be on a C7. So instead of, because that feels a little bit more like we're waiting to go somewhere. The C minor is pretty stable. So let's have the piano go up in, are we going for, Hartman Music asks, are you going for historically accurate pirate music or Hollywood pirates? We're going for Hollywood pirates, not specifically Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, that's definitely this generation's pirate music that we're most familiar with. Actually, as you see, I have a Pirates of the Caribbean 3 track down here in my template, which I'm using for reference for the mix. But my primary reference scores, Pirates of the Caribbean is definitely one of them, but I'm a big fan of the Seahawks score, Korngold's score that was back in the 40s, but there's a really nice re-recording of it from the 70s. It's a definitely, Hollywood Pirates is definitely easier with the traditional orchestra. But I'm a big fan of that early Pirates, Errol Flynn era of music. It's just very evocative. It's very dramatic, and it's a little over the top. So with the Seafaring music, we're definitely going all out with the melodies and themes, and there'll definitely be a lot of hummable melodies and stuff like that. So let's get back to creating that journey up to the crow's nest. So we wouldn't be going up the rigging like a speed demon. We wouldn't be. So luckily for me, since I'm not very good at piano, we'll be going a little bit slower. So let's just see what we think. And it should keep going up a bit. And definitely change the harmonies a little bit where we get a little dizzy at the top. So yeah, let's bring in the whole tone scale there at the top. Oh, that was a beat early. Whoops. And that was not a whole tone scale. I have to move my mic a little bit so that I can reach those keys. There we go. Yeah, alt dominant, whole shepherd, whole tone all the way for sure. And we'll probably have that stay on beat. Probably not have it. I'll let it be a little slower there. And I definitely feel like we need this in thirds. So let's see how this sounds. And we can have the glockenspiel if I have that here. So let's have the Celeste move to the glockenspiel. Don't know if I forgot the N in this glockenspiel. All right, so I'm gonna pull that up and bring this instrument. Let's see, Berlin percussion. So almost all my sample libraries are the Berlin series and all the orchestral tool stuff. I just started using their sample libraries a long time ago, and just it's really nice and convenient to have them all recorded in the same location. It makes me have to do a lot less work when it comes to mixing. To have to put everything in the same space. Oh yeah, I don't know if my harp. So I have an issue right now where my harp library isn't working. Otherwise, absolutely, I would use the harp. So I'm doing some constrained creativity right now. There's something with the contact library, and I need to like re-put in the license or the key or whatever. And because I'm using mostly orchestral tool stuff, like here in their sign player, which is their I don't know, what is it called? Their specific stuff for their samples, their software. I'm not using Contact as much, and I've mostly transitioned to this. So when it comes to Contact libraries, oh yeah, that's right. Thanks for the suggestion. I remember they do have a harp. I'm actually gonna see if I can pull that up. I'll have to obviously send the reverbs and do everything differently, but let's see if we can pull up a harp, because that would be that was the first choice of instrument. I assume that'd be under an orchestral. Do you know where it is? Is it under strings? Harp, yeah. Yeah, hey, that sounds pretty good. I've never used this before, so thank you for the suggestion. And let's just double this, because I don't want to... I won't be lazy. I'll actually play it as another performance. Let's have it start on the... I don't know, I messed that up. Anyway, let's fix it in post here. So let's just fix it in the MIDI editor. Cool. And again, I usually do MIDI cleanup. Later. Yeah, it really does warm everything up. Yeah, that's the one instrument from the orchestral tool stuff that it's nice to have it recorded in position, meaning when they record the samples, so these are all real instruments and they're sampled. So basically these are real players that go into a recording studio, and the sample library company has them record each note played at different dynamics and different transitions between notes and different articulations, and then they produce that and create the software that lets me, with the keyboard and a bunch of controls here, recreate a more or less realistic performance. Having the harp recorded in orchestral position, meaning they have the microphone where the conductor is and the harp is a bit off to the left, where it often is, kind of near some of the other orchestral pitched percussion. It's nice, but I don't know. I kind of like this dry harp. This is pretty good. All right, so let's get back to conceptual stuff. We're climbing the crow's nest. What's the feeling when we get to the top? Probably some bring in a little melody. So we can see everything. We can see out into the sea. We can see a lot of the down the deck. It's just a big broad view. So why don't we bring in one of the melodies that I use a lot for this scene? Oops, bring a horn up. Solo horn. That's kind of one of the main motifs I'm using. Oops. Great. And we need to double it with the trumpet. I like it with the... Let's do the double it with the flute, actually, because up an octave. Because we're up high. I'm thinking bringing in some strings. I hear some chords here. Spring like... like a G9, G minor 9. Yeah, so definitely let's go G minor and then A flat. And what I'm trying to get here is that feeling of, oh wow, we're up in the up at the top of the mast and the crow's nest. That A major to A minor sounds a little cheesy, but maybe we can pull it off with some interesting stuff going on, some reharmonization of that in the bass. So let's try that. I'm also going to clean this transition up right there. I think it should start during the trumpet and the horn and flute part. And I like to just kind of do a little fade out there just so we don't assume what comes next, but we're probably going to go... I heard some other chords there, so we got so G minor, A flat major, A flat minor. Yeah, A major, that's the chord I heard next. So let's just go and draw that in. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. And then we've got... So is this A? Sometimes it's hard to see on this dark background where the notes are, but we've got A, C sharp, and E, so we should be good. And that can work, but we need some more interest. Let's not have these instruments we introduced here totally go away. Let's bring that Celeste back in. Or let's start with the harp, actually. Yeah, that sounds good. And like I have said many times, I'm not good at piano. So, we were doing it. I'm going to play these chords in one by one. Yeah, A flat sus actually would be kind of nice. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. We need to clean this part up too, so we can get a better idea of how it's gonna sound. And now here's what makes it, in my opinion, usually really much more, even more beautiful, is when we add the bass. So let's not start it out too low. We want some room to go down. Yeah, so I really don't like that A flat major to A flat minor. So maybe we can reharmonize it to be maybe we can put the bass on an F and make it a F minor 7 flat 5, and that might sound better. That's fine. Let's try it. Let's just play it in and see if it works. And then, okay, so then we can actually, then when it goes to the A, we can have it go to A over its 5th. So down to the E natural. And then let's bring in some horns. I'm just going off intuition here. Let's bring in some horns again. Where did this guy end? Right over there. Let's bring in horn 2. And maybe have some swells in the horns. As to, not swells, let's do some legato, maybe like in, yeah, I have an idea. Not that note, I meant to do a B, so, but I did like how I played that in, so let's go. And then we should probably bring in another theme at this point. Let's see. So now we're in the crow's nest looking around. Maybe we want some woodwinds. Maybe do something like, maybe we could start to create some motion, like, So we're bringing us that B major kind of feels like it's going to D flat minor. Yeah, let's just try this. We might delete this, might not like it, but so that's making me thinking of another kind of like, you can look down and then we kind of pan down. Once we kind of fill out what it feels like to be up on the crow's nest, let's pan down, like the camera's panning down to the deck again, and we can see the crew kind of busy on the deck. So we'll have these flutes kind of reminding us what's going on up in the crow's nest, and let's have that ostinato, and then let's go down to the deck and make some busyness happen. Sorry, I was just making sure I got a message, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing any issues with audio or anything. Let's start to bring in some of that classic pirate stuff that we all know and love with the staccato short strings. So we got a D flat too. So let's bring that little bit of that melody back in. That's probably not a short string melody though. Let's put that on the viola and the... Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Who knows? I'm probably going to cut a lot of that. But anyway, it's good we got that down. Let's actually have the cellos. That wasn't too bad. Let's have the cellos double that just to add a little bit more thickness to it. Yeah, so we don't want that. Let's just have it go. Going back to it. So A major, B major. Let's do some bass pizzicato under there because we don't want that. When I was playing this, that seems a little aggressive. So let's keep it a little bit lighter. I think we have the pizzicato. There we go. It was a little delayed. Also, let's save this so we don't lose it. I realize I haven't saved. Yeah, there we go. That wasn't quite right. Let's try that again. Nice and light. Oh, I should have started there. Boom, boom. I didn't know what notes I was supposed to play there, but the idea was right. So let's correct that and clean it up. And I think it was... There we go, and then it brings us to, and then let's bring in the legato strings here, the low strings. So, and that'll be on the A. and then that line could repeat there. I messed up the notes though, so. And that right there, the notes I think we're going for. Let's change that. Let's have that come in earlier. And then so I want this cello note to be a little so I guess that's implying, I guess we want it. Let me just play it on piano so I can figure out what chord I'm looking for. Oh, so I'm going for D flat major. So let's spell that out here with the notes. So we need. I mean, we really need to introduce another instrument, because this really should go back to join up there with the voice lead. So let's have, what do we want to bring in here? Maybe a horn. I think that'd sound nice. Or let's try having the viola go up to the third, which would be F. I think this is going to sound really cheesy, so I don't think this will work, but let's just hear this voice and... Yeah, oh, that's horrible. Definitely not. I really have a thing against like the top note going up to a major third like that. It makes the that ooh, I'm doing a major chord instead of a minor chord when we're in a minor key, like point like so stick out so much, and I just think it sounds really bad. So let's find another note that makes it a little bit smoother. A good one. Let's do clarinet. So we're looking for an F, like a low F here. That's a little warm. Maybe you know what it is, the bass. If we're gonna do a major third there, like a modal interchange, I don't think the bass can be on that A flat as the fifth. Basically, depending on the way that we stack these notes to create chords, different things are gonna sound more right or less right. So let's bring it down. We can have the cello go down to the fifth there. Yeah, it's parallel or direct fifths, but or whatever. Yeah, there we go. But we need there we go. We can clean that up in a minute. So let's add some more thickness. Let's have the horns come in here. How about there? Let's have it on first on the fifth, up a bit higher. So we'll have it go the we need to get that bass stuff out there, that movement there. It's not working. Now let's have horn 2 be on the D flat. All right. So let's go back to the beginning and listen to what we've got so far. Again, the concept was having a crow's nest. We're going up the rigging, then getting up to the top, which I think we need to flesh out the emotions up there at the top of the crow's nest more. And then we pan down and we go to the deck of the ship. We need more instruments there. Probably woodwinds. And then obviously clean that up. So this section here, let's actually label this. So this horn section here, let's create a marker and say pan to deck. And this will help us keep track of exactly what moments we're trying to capture when. And then here's the marker, busy deck. So we have this section right here. What does anybody in the chat want to comment? What do you think what's this remind you of, or what kind of thing should we go for here? It's a little bit more majestic, at least with that low bass going on there. A little bit more serious maybe than what we've done so far. Do you have any ideas for what we want to kind of flesh this section out right about at 1 minute to be? There's a suggestion of drums. We could do that. Maybe like a snare, there's still a light snare. Let's do it. Let's bring it in here when we pan to the deck. We could even have the timpani come in there. Where is that? Timpani soft, because we're not trying to... Let's do it. It's kind of subtle, but... Whoops. Yeah, we could have it. One more timpani that's on the D flat. Let's do a little bit of quantization here. Quantization? Quantization? I'm not sure. Actually, you know, if we don't have any suggestions, I'm just going to I don't know. I feel like we don't need a big this to go into a whole section here. Let's have it go back to the back busy deck thing. This will just be a little bit of a tiny little B section, like here. Let's just have that fade out. Bum 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 ba da da dum. So, and then we can just go back to but maybe in the trumpets this time. which notes are we doing in the flutes here? Dun, dun. So, yeah, let's just do the same thing. The rhythm was terrible, so let's quantize that. Maybe 70. I'll just set the data, the sound levels here. And so what I like to do to make it more real is we use multiple different recorded trumpets. So right here, I played that on trumpet 1, but there's actually they recorded 3 different trumpet players. So what I'm going to do is bring down, so some of these notes are played on trumpet 2. And trumpet 1 is going to be playing different notes. So trumpets are not is it multiphonic instrument? Is that right? Or polyphonic? So they can only play one note at a time. So if we want to have like trumpet chords or intervals, we need to have multiple trumpeters. So trumpet 1's playing a little bit louder, so let's bring his there we go. It's a little more balanced now. And I kind of think, why don't we bring in horns 3 and 4 on that too? I think that line that I was just playing sounds more like a string. Cool. Again, rhythm was bad, but we can fix that here. Just quantize. There we go. Now the rhythm is not terrible. But I did come in early. And that definitely needs some backup. Oh, where's the bell? We need bells here. Where's the tubular bells? If I don't have them, I need to add them. I think I need to add them. Okay, here we go. We're going to add tubular bells because those are very nice for Seafaring. And I like to use those on the offbeat, so da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-boom. And add some space and some dimension to the music, so there's more elements of interest going on at one time. Oh, it's not unpitched. Tubular bells. Yeah, let's go soft mallets. I think the A flat sounds a little bit more like a ship bell than the D flat. That B did not sound confident there, so let's increase the velocity a little bit. And I think this is when we can bring those pizzicato low bass strings back in. Cool. That wasn't fantastic, but we can edit. So the note, boom. That's. So what I'm trying to do with this, but is line that A flat up with the other note. So now let's blend that with the with the bassoon. Oh, this one. But let's replay that a little better. But this is kind of blending those elements. Okay, that was even worse. Let's try again. So the difference, so we're including that bass note. Let's quantize a little bit and can make this more consistent in the parts because, so it's the bass we want to make sure is there. Alright, the bassoon is a little early there. And then why don't we have a kind of a, we're just kind of building up this ostinato here, so why don't we have the flute come in on some melody that we've already established. So yeah, let's just have it play up there. Maybe the piccolo even. Let's do that. I think it'll sound okay. Or maybe we could just do the... Let's just do woodwinds and then let's... Just the full woodwinds. Not that. Woodwinds, and then we will figure out later which woodwinds we want, but... Oh, I should have put that in. So that is on F sharp minus 2. Let's make sure this is... Should be good. Cool. Now let's try that. I'm definitely gonna play the notes wrong. Okay, so I got like 50% of those notes wrong, so let's just go through. Not 2 notes there. So now let's hear that with it corrected. And let's do some quantization too, because again, the rhythm is really bad. A little bit more maybe. So sometimes when the rhythm is far enough off, it quantizes it to the wrong spot, meaning it assumes, oh, you meant to play an eighth note here, but I played it in so incorrectly that it assumed the wrong one. Like that one. I played that last note in too early where it assumed it was on the anticipation of that. So okay, let's start going back to the beginning, and I want to start cleaning this up. So let's make a marker here, climbing. Climbing to the crow's nest. So we want to quantize this a little bit. We still want it to have some life. That's the problem with quantizing. Again, that's when I told the computer using this section up here to make the notes more on rhythm. But the problem is, if you do that a lot, it'll sound unnatural because, humans don't play right on all the time, whether that's with pitch or rhythm. Great musicians are very close, but it's not going to be 100%. So it starts sounding very unnatural if you quantize everything a lot more. I learned not to do more than 70% in general. I'd say that doesn't necessarily apply if the performance is terrible and you need to get it a little bit closer. But if you have a decent performance, I definitely would agree that number is pretty solid. It generally doesn't sound too messed up if it's at that level. All right, that starts getting really high. So again, this was one of the things I was planning on doing before, and I don't know if did I actually pull up the Glockenspiel? I did. So instead of the Celeste going up into the range where it just sounds really grating and unpleasant, and also let's create sustain here because we want these notes to hold. Actually, we might not, because for a production reason that's kind of complicated. That should be good. Except, yeah, like that is really piercing and unpleasant. So I'm gonna split this here, and when the Celeste gets up to the Glockenspiel is going to take over, and it's going to sound, it's a little bit of a higher ranged, not a little bit, it's like one of the highest range instrument ranges. So it's going to sound a bit more natural in its desired range. Up this high. So let's merge this. And so a lot of what I do is cleaning up and trying to make things sound nice and relatively natural. So what we're going to do is have a nice kind of decrescendo here. So the notes will slowly kind of fade out. That's probably okay. And that was on the Glockenspiel. Let's do that on the harp. And then bring it down even a little bit more. Let's see how this sounds. And then the piano too. I want it to just fade out nicely. Alright, so that Celeste starts getting pretty loud towards the end. So let's start having that fade out and then just kind of see where this is that it's kind of getting a little piercing. So it's still that glockenspiel. So let's just bring all the velocities down. Whoops. Like that's very piercing. So is that. It's not as bad. Yeah, that's better. Let's add back in the cellos. So that obviously doesn't need to wait. We want when this comes. Boom, right there. So let's take the cello. And I think we want to move that a little earlier. I don't think we want to wait that long. It just kind of feels like we run out of energy. So let's take this horn and make sure that it. So we're actually going to move everything afterwards so we don't lose the. Let's try to figure out how late it is. We may be able to do a little earlier. Let's just see where this is. So even a measure earlier. So that's I think we want to come in right on measure 13. So I think this is the right place. And these I accidentally forgot to move, so let's. One more measure. All right, here we go. So it seems like I've actually moved everything except the flutes. I think I did correctly. A little bit not far enough, like a beat not far enough. So let's see if that lines them up. That looks right. Cool. All right, that's getting better. So what else do we want for this first section? Again, let's move this key switch so we make sure that we're coming in on the tremolo like we're supposed to. I think we could actually have the bass tremolo in there too. Oh, that's a little. Let me see if I actually pulled up all the articulations. So I do have that on just the basses. Let's do that. This is just adding a bit more weight to it. That's so empty. And then we just need to figure out what's going on. Where do the cellos go? They just kind of disappear there. So, and same with the bass. Maybe we want it to fade out. I think that's probably the best move, honestly. Just let it all fade out naturally. Alright, let's go from the beginning. Bass is a little late there. But it should come in a little bit softer than the cello because it's a little bit more... yeah, there we go. There we go. So those need to come in. The flutes and the horns need to come in with more confidence. So let's increase the attack of those first notes if that. Sometimes when you have instruments entering out of nowhere, you know, or they're starting something new, it definitely is important to make them sound like they're coming in confidently. It'd be like if you heard a soloist in an orchestra start playing, but you felt like they weren't quite sure if they were coming in on the right measure or not. It doesn't lend itself to the performance for sure. There's something missing here. Like we need something in the mid range. Oh, let's do some horn trills. Alright, let's try that. I don't use these a lot. Just very soft. Probably can have it fade out even a little bit more there. We're just adding some depth, some texture. What else can we add here? We could have something like that, like another... Yeah, let's do that. It's not bad. Wrong note. I think we could have a trombone there too. If I don't... Let's try it. Yeah, that's nice. And let's also have the horn not just doing that trill alone. Let's have a clarinet there too. Or flute. No, we might want the flute for something else. So, does this have trill? Yeah, it does. G. G sharp -2. That will be. Cool. Let's have the clarinet on the C. That sounded pretty nice. I think I need to have it retongue it here so they can. This is a soloist clarinet sample, so basically it's a little bit different than some of the ones recorded as sections. Okay, we don't want that attack there. Let's have them fade out, but I wonder if I can change that. Let's see. Yeah, that's a lot nicer. See that? There's certain elements like that that just really add a lot of texture. Maybe even a choir. Just on a... We're just adding a lot of tension. Let's have the choir kind of build. So obviously that was supposed to be a E natural, not an E flat. That's why it sounded wrong. And we might even want it up on the G. I think a choir gets too present there. Let's make sure that E natural is out by the time that the horns come in there, so this will probably be better. And we also can have some strings doing some trills. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. I'm actually going to do that on the second violin. All right, let's try that again. And then let's have the first violin. Yeah, they're going to come up on a tremolo instead of a trill. Up on a even higher note, up on the C, so they'll be kind of rounding out the top here. So yeah, actually that wasn't too bad, but I'm had them go to legato, but let's actually have them stay on the tremolo because I think that would add better texture here. So yeah, gotta clean that up. It's a little loud. We'll adjust that. Oh, that's because I had it on the legato. Okay, that makes sense. Let's bring the dynamics down there quite a bit so it's not so loud. And what I'm doing here is changing the dynamics. So this is the orange is basically telling them what dynamics they're playing at, and the blue is more like actual volume. So I think we need some more notes in there. This sounds pretty open, these chords. Like there's this whole space right here, kind of the low mid-range that's just empty. So we need something to fill that out. So we got the violas free and they get introduced here. So why don't we introduce them earlier and bring them in? I'll just try playing something. Yeah, that's the right note to start on. So then we'll go. Then we'll have it slowly kind of come back down to where it starts down on that D flat. In fact, let's have it go to a tremolo until it gets back here. Tremolo, not trill. That sounds nice with those two, the cello and the violas. It's a nice pairing there. I think the cello should stay with the violas here, so I'm gonna have it double that part. It's too early to break apart the melody. So we have these two players playing in unison, not two players, two sections playing in unison. And we want to establish their connection before we break them apart, which we do over here. That sounds like it needs a bassoon added to me. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. The bassoon's such a seafaring instrument for some reason. Yeah, so there we go. It's filling it. We're filling it out now. So this is really the part of the thing the part of the process that takes me the longest, which is making these changes, fleshing out the orchestration, figuring out the arrangement so that everything flows together, that things make sense, because this is where there's so much room for editing and trying different things. Like, why a bassoon here? Like, should it be on this note? How loud should it be compared to the other instruments? There's just kind of an endless number of choices, and it can be kind of decision paralysis where it's hard to make decisions about that. Or not even paralysis necessarily. It's just, if I were to make a checklist, there might be hundreds of things to decide on. So again, we're kind of empty here. We need something more. The flutes are playing a little quietly, and they definitely need to be quantized. And we're gonna actually quantize these two. Wish I could do dotted. All right, so this is the kind of thing, like I'm saying, that takes a lot of time. So what we're gonna do here is now fix all of these notes, because like I mentioned earlier, the performance was not good. So I have to go in and edit. So it looks like they're all about like a bit early. So I was consistently playing the notes in early. These are okay. They just need a little bit more quantization. And then we can just kind of go back over the whole thing and put it a little bit higher. Like there. Something's wrong there. Unless it's maybe it's the bass that's off. Yeah, it is. And the same thing here. It's super early. Like almost all of it is. Like even there, it was just quantize it to the wrong beat. All right, here we go. So now we're gonna also make a few velocity edits, which is kind of the dynamics, how hard they're plugging the string. It's weird how. Oh, I might have actually forgotten to move this back. Let's see if this seems right. I also forgot to move these. Let's see if this works. Cool. All right, so let's go back to the beginning again, and what we generally do is work our way back through this more and more times. Oh, wrong note there. So we actually want that melody there a little bit more present. We could add the bassoon. Yeah, let's do it. I like that. The bottom kind of fades away. I think that works for the crow's nest, but we need a little bit more thickness up at the top. Yeah, maybe some trumpets and a swell, maybe? Yeah, it's a little too much. We could do a trumpet there. The G isn't really in that whole tone scale that we're playing, but... Let's do that, but we can move this back a measure so that we can take this, move the trumpet back so that it comes in a little bit earlier. We'll see. I mean, we have a lot of, like, a thick texture, or not, like, we have a lot of notes there with the whole tone scale and the held notes. So we're starting to get, like, let's take a look even. I mean, I like that trumpet, but let's just mute it for now because it's a little throwing it off. So here, we need some more tremolo strings. The violin 2s need to be here. So we want to smooth this transition out a bit. Let's listen back through and kind of figure out how do we want to pan down to the deck. I'm thinking like bringing us into the so that's a little all right, here we go. Let's try that again. And that's early. Lining it up now. Right, again, early. Whoops. And we should probably do some harmony there too. Don't want to have that just all alone. Maybe some in thirds. Hey, maybe in fifths. It's a little yeah, those are the right notes, but let's I'm playing in the right, like we want the fifths here, so da-da-da-dun. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate it. Let's go. I feel like we could have a counter melody here with the tuba. I've done this before in the other track too. Wrong note again. Cool. All right, so let's clean that up. So first, what we do here is we start it out as a counter melody, so you can hear. Then it responds. Wrong note there. And where's the bass here? Right on the E here. got one measure there. Boom, boom, boom. And so right here, we're going to do something fun where basically this is another thing I take a lot of time doing is getting the articulations right. So this right here, this tuba section is a legato, so it just kind of slurred between notes, maybe retonguing it if there's space between the notes. But that's not exactly how I want the phrasing to be. So if I was singing it, I'd want it to be like da dun 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 dun. So we got a little bit more accent, a little bit more specific. So we go. So bum 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 bum. So bum bum. It's probably a staccato. Oops, that's a little short, a little long. And then dum bum bum dun dun. So what we're doing here is just doing the fine tuning of the notes, making sure that the performance is so that sounds like it's rushing a little bit, partly because these notes take a little bit longer to come in. And then I think another dun dun. So we want another staccato here. Bum bum. Maybe staccatissimo, we will see. Maybe that's a marcato short. Also, I think that note's a little too short. We want to maybe even longer, but no, I think. So what's going on there is this, the first note should be a little bit louder. We don't want the accent to be on the that accent to be a little bit more. So that's the kind of thing I spend hours and hours doing. So that's a little loud accent, a tiny bit less. This is a little bit loud too, but we also could bring the dynamics of those first new notes up a tiny bit to normalize it slightly more. So it sounds a little weird there. That's better. Cool. And then the last note, we probably want to make it legato, so it holds for a longer time. No, I think it can die off. That I will have to edit it too much. So now let's hear that in context. So I realized that's the danger of listening when you solo instruments. I totally forgot that the other instruments it's playing with, the cellos and the violas are playing it legato. And I think they sound good like that. So I kind of just wasted that. And what we're going to do is just move this to up here. because now it's playing a different kind of interpretation of that melody than the other instrument it's playing with, which is not what we're going for. So what we're actually going to do is move that, because we did make it sound nice. Like that's if that was the right interpretation, it would be a good performance of it, if that makes sense. So this first part here, we're actually going to move all of this up. So when it plays the counter melody, there we go. See, so we can get away with it there because it's playing the counter melody. Except that entrance, like I said earlier, needs to be stronger. And we got to take out this note, so it's... Oh, actually, we could not take it out, but just have it stay on the same pitch. So then now we're just going to replay that in when it's actually in unison. So we're just going to start from scratch. Actually, no, let's not do that. Let's not have it double it. Let's have it start doubling the bass, backing up that pizzicato. Oh, that's loud. So let's see. And then let's make sure that they're playing the same notes. So let's look at the... Whoops. And then we can have it be legato here. So we'll bring it back and we'll start on this A. So let's try record that. Cool. So then we may or may not keep that. Definitely a little loud. We're not aiming for like an aggressive sound here. It's just also sounds like our bassoon didn't get the memo to play staccato. So let's see what's going on there. There we go. Here's the message. Cool. So, okay, so I think that sounded pretty good. Let's take a listen from the beginning again and see where we're at. We've got another like 8 minutes. So let's... Okay, that didn't start from the beginning. We're missing some notes. Here we go. Okay, so again, the tuba didn't get the memo this time about playing legato here. And actually, you know, now that we're here, let's fix this. Boom. Those should be different articulations. Boom, boom. And so we got marcato short, long, legato. So let's see how this sounds. So it sounded pretty good, except it got a little too loud there, a little too brassy, and everybody they were playing a little early. This note right here was a little loud. One more time, let's listen through. Quiet, too quiet. Not enough attack. Yeah, anytime the player sounds like, oh, I didn't, maybe I messed up, I didn't, is that the right note? When it sounds like they're thinking that, that's not what you're aiming for. Okay, now from the beginning. So let's bring this limiter down a little bit. Get it a little louder. So here I'm feeling we want to continue chord progression, and we can continue this part. That'll be kind of the subtext here, subtitle here. Let's say this is basically what I'm imagining here is that we're still on the deck, the kind of going around to different shots of what different crew members are doing. So say swabbing the decks and something. And we'll continue that for another like 30-ish seconds, and then we'll get to around the 2-minute mark, and then we'll do an music out, MX out. MX is like a general abbreviation for music in stuff like VX, vocal or voiceover, and SFX, sound effects. So a couple things to clean up before we stop for the day. The performance is super inconsistent, so let's clean that up. Oh, so bad. Okay, hold on. Like, all of it was off. Sometimes when it's consistently off, though, it's easier to fix because we can just see that it auto. Looks like up till here it got the quantization wrong. So this is a little. You can hear the dynamics are a little inconsistent, which is not ideal. So let's see. What we're probably going to do is make them a little bit more consistent and bring the velocity up. And we'll bring just the volume down slightly. Okay, it's off again there. There's also some weird stuff going on in one of the, either the viola or the cello. Oh, it's probably here. Yeah, there's just some weird stuff going on here. There we go. Bottom. Yeah, okay, so we need a bottom. Also, this seems like it is off. Bottom. So we're gonna do a. And probably even a little bit of a crash cymbal there. Even a little bit more quiet than that. And a bell. Because we just... Oh, we didn't rename the bell. That's what I was like. Okay, so I hear something there I want to just put in before. So yeah, just like a kind of and I probably should have ended that on an E flat there, and I was a measure late starting it. So we want that to start. Couple measures late. And so the woodwind should join in there, actually. So let's copy that and paste it into the woodwinds and take out these last two notes. What does it mean, function not supported? Copy. Copy. Paste. There we go. I gotta replay that again, but that's the notes I want. Actually, wait. Having a hard time with this. Hold on. Yeah, something like that. So let's bring in another horn. All right, that's not quite right, but the first two notes are, so. We'll fix this later. Oh. Those are some really wrong notes. But let's actually go through and think about them now. I was just trying to get the performance in. And then we're in octaves. Cool. Good enough. We can stop that there. I'm just going to... And then... Oh, he's so loud. It'd be nice if we could come up with kind of a little ostinato here. Yeah, let's just do that. Bum, bum, bum. And let's put it on the bassoons. So that's an okay start. And now let's vary. Whoops, didn't mean to delete all that. All right, let's clean that up. Oh, you were also thinking ostinato, Stacy? Nice. It always got ostinato on the brain. That's actually one of the things that I'm trying to avoid. Not avoid, but like not repeat too much, because sometimes I think the seafaring type music can get a little reliant on them. So I definitely they're effective and they're definitely useful in places, and they're absolutely present in the Seafaring pack. But so these. So then we can bring it down to that kind of B. Let's see what we can do with the... We can add let's just add the violas solo. Let's do the cellos. There's some cello and bassoon is always a nice pairing, I think. No? Let's try that again. That was definitely a little not the best performance, but wrong notes. I kind of like that. The tremolo that just I accidentally put there. So what if we just bring that in? Yeah, I don't know. It just sounds nice with the horns. That chord right there. So we got a B flat, G flat. Let's see. And what's the bass? The cello note. So it's like a G flat major chord. That's why it's just randomly in there. So maybe let's continue with that. Yeah, cool. It's a nice little sonic thing in there. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna call it good for today. Let's listen to this through one more time, just see what we've got. Again, the beginning is climbing up into the rigging, and then we've got the crow's nest, and followed by kind of looking out over the sea and the deck and everything, which I want to flesh out and make a little bit more magical. And then we're going to pan down to the deck and kind of see different stuff the crew's doing on deck. So let's take a listen. I actually didn't get the full effect there because the horn didn't get its trill. Cool. All right, so that's what we got today in about 2 hours-ish. Pretty happy with that progress. My guess is this will take me maybe 4 more hours to finish. I know we got what might seem like a majority of it done, but there's just a lot of editing and then mixing, and then maybe another 2 hours for creating the intensity levels, so that when you use the intensity slider in the app, it's responsive and it's got a good differentiation between the top levels and the lowest levels. So we're about a quarter done with this, despite it being, I would say, mostly a lot of the composition is done, except for kind of some transitions in the latter third of it. So thanks everybody for checking it out. And as we end the stream, I'm going to play one of my favorite tracks that I've finished for the Seafaring, which is a combat track, but it's pretty lively, and I think the production on it has sounded pretty good. So what you're going to hear as we end the stream is one of my favorite tracks. And thanks for tuning in and participating. I will be back on Thursday at the same time, and this will be a regular thing. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 to 7 p.m. And definitely try to tune in, because we're trying to get to Twitch affiliate by next week. So that's having more viewers really helps with that. So all of you that tuned in, thank you so much. And if you haven't yet, download Pocket Bard on the iOS and Android. yeah, and reach out on any of our social media. So with that, I will play this track and put you on the ending screen. So again, thanks for tuning in.